Hello guys, we are here, we are alive. Sorry for a little bit late. I tried to finish labels in my Twitch account by myself. It didn't go well. Tell me if the sound, if everything is okay. And let's go, let's start. Let's play every hand, talk about every hand. Let me just try to lower the music a little bit. Let's talk about every hand. We have started the new series on PokerStrategy. We're gonna go limit by limit. We have started with NL10 on PokerStars. We're going from micros to high stakes. It's gonna be fun journey, so I hope you will stuck with me. You'll be with me, and let's together go limit by limit, and you can see what you need to do to crush every limit. Okay. Just tell me if the sound is okay, because that's important. Last time we had some problems and that was not that fun. Okay. So if everything is okay, to finish labels in my Twitch account by myself. Sorry about that. Okay, we are ready. Table number one, we have king queen. We're gonna open on the button. We don't know anybody basically, so we will need to see who is the reg, who is the fish, who is the weak reg. Ace is 5 and against the small blind. Generally small blind has a lot of pocket pairs in, basically condensed range that is not gonna hit this board very often, so he's gonna have a lot of medium strength hands. We need to attack those one. Okay, we're gonna call 10-4. Just let me see if I can go. We're gonna fold there on table number 2. Queen 10 off, we are opening. Jack 10, we're gonna defend also. Yep. Table number 2, we are folding. We're gonna call this small 3-bet. Probably weaker player. We're gonna label him as a weaker player. We're gonna talk a lot about strategies, so ask me anything you need to know. We're gonna fold there. Don't like this spot a lot. When in the multi-way this guy leads there, we're gonna call, but it's not that great. When he leads there, I would say he has at least kind of like a king jack. This guy overcall. What is he overcalling in a multi-way? Yeah. And this guy has probably sixes. Not that great spot. Honestly, not that great spot. We're gonna go 1/3. Big blind versus button on the table number 4. We're gonna fold there. In the multi-way, generally, when small blind leads like this, it's gonna have pretty strong range. I would say like king jack is the minimum, maybe even just 2 pair. But on the small blind, what is he calling? You know, 1/3 on table number 4. This guy is also probably a weaker player. I'm gonna go with the check. I'm gonna go with the bet there. I'm gonna fold table number 2. In the multi-way pots, the ranges become very strong. That's the problem, because this guy, if he's a reg, he revs basically sixes, and when this guy calls, he can have him kind of like king queen sixes. Yeah, in the multi-way pots, the ranges are a lot stronger, and that's why I didn't want it to call there at the first place, because when he's stepping, he has like 2 pair most often, and against that range, drawing in a multi-way pot not that great. We're gonna call 10-6 on the table number 2. Just tell me if the music is okay. Up 8. If everything is loud enough. 10-6, 10-6 we're gonna defend. Okay, let's see. We are checking ace 5, ace 5 8 cutter versus button. We're gonna delay 1/3. Usually the guys have poor check ranges. I don't know what he reps. Basically jacks, he should be three betting always. I'm gonna fold there. We're of course calling it. Maybe he's raising jack X for information. They tend to do it. The guy had 8-5. Okay, 8-5 off. We're gonna three bet here. 8-9 we're gonna fold. A6 we are not opening. We're gonna stack off in this spot with queens. Generally queens are stack off in these positions. It is small blind against big blind and button, so we're gonna stack off 100 blinds. He should be four betting hands like ace queen, ace jack suited, king queen suited, call for hands like tens, nines, jacks, ace king of course. Hello man, Alexei, thanks. Stick with us. It's gonna be fun. We can talk. We will talk about the guys on my Discord also ask me to talk about multi-way pots. Uh, Gonna play some Overwatch. Okay. Basically to talk about multi-way pots because it seems that a lot of guys have problem with multi-way pots. Ivan, man, I didn't see you for a long time. Hello, man. How are you? Comedy say it's okay for me. Great, great. Table number 2, smaller versus cutoff. We're gonna forbet some of the time because I don't know them and I don't know how pool plays. How this pool generally play. On my limit, it's around 12 to 14% smaller versus cutoff, but I'm not sure here. Maybe it's 8%, and then jacks are borderline, so we're gonna call until we don't know. Generally, I would say at least it has to be 10%. Means 8 plus ace jack off, king queen off. Pretty strong board for him. We are calling a flop with the jack of spade also. He needs to bet range on the flop, but with smaller size. I'm gonna fold the turn. Until we don't know, we're just gonna have to fold hands like this. He did use the size that is not GTO. It is small size in this spot because you want them bet wide range. And here he should be double barreling hands like queen 10 as a no equity bluff hand like queen jack. We also block that. We are calling ace 10 in this spot. Hands like a queen jack, hands like a queen 10. Okay. Check behind on the jack 9-8. I think he's betting all the overpairs. So checking means like hands like tens that we are blocking, hands like ace queen or ace king that doesn't want to bet. We're gonna bet have the pot. Generally they have weak check range, so we're gonna attack those weak check ranges always. Queen 7 we're gonna fold. Doubtplex said, Marco, how is it going? It's going great. I finish all the business. I can stream and play until you want me to play. We can talk about poker. We can talk about strategies. I'm eager to play. I'm excited to playing because this series is something that didn't happen on any other sites. This is not that great, but the guy is 16-8. We basically can only three bet or fold, so I'm gonna go with a three bet, but it's not that great. This guy is definitely a weaker player, so I just can't fold hands. I just can't fold hand like nines. So we're gonna three bet it. Yep, I'm going to talk about this series. This series will be crazy. We are going micros through high stakes. We are going to play one limit by month, and then we're going to compare limit by limit. You're going to see what you need to do what is the difference between every limit. I'm going to try my best to do it. I'm not familiar with this pool, so basically I'm starting without anything, without sample, without feeling for play. I'm gonna all do it in a game, so it's gonna definitely be really really fun, and I'm ready for it. And let's go. Let's see. I just want to see how this player plays, uh, how they think about poker is gonna be interesting. Ace 9, there's no need to be bluffing. 4-6, we're gonna call. Defend on the big blind. When he checks behind there, he should be betting ace queen, king queen, king, ace king. All of these hands he should be mainly betting on this board, because he has enormous range advantage. Not gonna do anything there. Ace 7, we're gonna go small on the small against the small blind range. Small blind range is condensed range. I usually don't have a calling range from the small blind, but people tend to have it. Basically, it's always condensed, full of the medium strength hands that you don't want to three bet. So you're gonna be tough spot on many boards. Basically, the best boards for you are the low boards, boards like 3, 5, 6, deuce, 4, 7, stuff like that. Low connected boards. You're gonna have a lot of sets there. Um, the guy donks. He doesn't. We block 7, 8, which is nice. And I don't think. Okay, he's a weaker player. He may have a lot of eights, but usually they don't have any off eights. Ace 8 off is not strong enough to be calling in this position. So okay, we're gonna go 1/3. He basically reps 8, and I don't think he's betting 8 with this size on the river. We are gonna be calling. This guy is also a weaker player. He shouldn't be check raising much on this board. The ace queen should be check raised. Okay, we're gonna call there. We're gonna check back. Basically every ace is splitting now, so I don't see the value there. We are just calling. Okay, this guy is bluffing with 9s. Pretty sick things. I'm gonna fold there on the bigger size without the spade. Do you still play on iPoker? Yes, I play sometimes, but I didn't play for last 3 months on the iPoker because I had the MTT series on Poker Stars, and I just played on Stars Cash and on Croatian Poker site Super Sport. But I will start to be playing on iPoker in next few weeks. I'm gonna play there NL 400. That's the plan. I like iPoker, I like the software, but the biggest problem for me is the scripts, because without the script you just can't get to the tables, and tables on NL 400 be tending to be breaking really really fast, and that's the main problem with me. And on Stars you don't have that problem. Stars is for me the best software, the best site. But yeah, I'm gonna play also on iPoker. I like iPoker. I started to play on microgaming, and then iPoker played for years there. Okay, table number 4, we are folding. We're gonna talk about every strategies, points, whatever you want. Multi-way pots for me is the something that people tend to ask me a lot, how I play them, how to play them, what is the GTO way to playing them, and we can talk about them when we have some good spots. We're gonna add a fast new table. Okay, we're gonna talk about multi-way pots. We're gonna fold ace 10, ace 7, gonna check. Smaller versus big line, king 9 8. He has bigger range advantage because we are not we don't have any 8s in the range. We are 3-betting 7s plus, so basically we don't have any set in the range. So we're going to check. King Jack we are calling. Again, we are against unfamiliar player there. Checking there. Okay, King 10 we're going to fold. King Jack suited, small blind versus cutoff. Generally he should be having, I would say, I'm not sure, but between, on this limit maybe it will be around 8 to 12%. I would say maybe 8 to 10%. Basically it's 8s plus, like I said. Hands like ace jack, ace queen, king queen off should be there also. Suited aces, he check here. I'm gonna check behind because this is the board where he should be betting most or all of his range with a small size. And when he's checking there, I would just use the strategy to check behind all my range. So I wouldn't have any stable range because he's checking on the board that he should be mainly betting. And that's the reason why I want to play my range from the turn. That's the same on the ace xx board. Where the 3-better has enormous range advantage and he checks, I'm going to use strategy and check behind all my hands. Okay, when he double checks, I would say that he's pretty capped there. So I'm just going to go with the 1/3 now. I think 1/3, we're going to put many hands in the tough spot. Uh, I play on the Red Star Poker. I have 45% rakeback there, old weighted system there, and 35 plus rake races, so it's around 45%. And on PokerStars, I get like 10% of the rakeback, so big difference. Okay, the guy called 3-bet. We don't know. I don't know what range called 3-bet. So uh, I would say mostly pocket pairs, mostly pocket pairs, uh, and Broadway's probably hands like king queen. We're gonna double barrel here. I think he's gonna have hands like sixes, eights. He's gonna have maybe even threes in the range. A lot of hands like ace jack's not gonna fold, probably ace queen, because if he's calling 3-bet, he's probably a weaker player. So we're gonna double barrel here. I don't think he has many 7x hands, so that's the reason we are definitely double barreling. We can fold him out of hands like ace jack and ace queen that are better hands than ours. Float some with king queen or king jack with the backdoor flush draw hands. Fold those hands is gonna be nice. Uh, Big blind versus small blind. Generally, I have a polarized range. Ace 7 10 rainbow, enormous range advantage for us. Of course, I'm gonna go with the 1/4 in this spot. Queens are decent c-bet. Blocking ace queen is nice. Ace king should be always a 4-bet. Even some of the ace queen will be 4-betted. So wherever we have the range advantage, we can bet a lot of range there. And I think on the ace xx, because we have ace 7 off in the range, I use polarized range, and I 3-bet the big blind versus small blind hand like ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4, around like 30-40% of those hand. Ace 7 off, ace 6 off. We have 7s always, we have 10s, so we have big range advantage there. We just have to take this board. Queens with 1/4 we can bet even more of the range. Marty Mart opens. We're gonna call ace deuce. Okay, just to say, the stream has delay, so just when you talk about hand, just tell me which hand, what was the nature of the board, so I can remember. I'm gonna check behind there. Calling 5-6 is okay. Small versus big blind. Psychopath says somebody sell him once, and that's enough. Interesting sentence. 5-6 we're gonna call. Ace deuce. Generally we he's polarizing there. I think this is also like bet check bet line. If the guy is reg, I'm just gonna try to quickly go to I just can go to the team stat name. Okay, generally these are the under bluff spots, because I don't, until I know, I'm just gonna go with the fold. But he's polarizing to really strong ace x or better. Maybe I would say even like probably 2 pair plus. Our hand is basically mostly a call in these situations, but generally also on my limit this is under bluff spot, and in under bluff spot, until we don't know the player, we can just fold these hands until we know. I'm gonna try team stat name just to have feeling for if somebody is reg or not. It's gonna be important. We're gonna check them out. Okay. Yep. Queen jack off. We are gonna fold. Usually open. We're gonna fold the 3-betting there against this guy. I would say he's probably a reg. Probably a reg based on what I know. Mart 97. Okay. Again, we have a big range advantage. We're gonna bet ace jack suited. Guy goes with the check raise. Marty Mart 97. Our hand is call. Yes, the guy is reg 2117. Decent aggression frequency. We're gonna go small on the turn. We don't want to get him the give him the free cards with hands like either let's say Jack 10 or diamonds or stuff like that he's not gonna bet on the turn for whatever reason, or hands like with threes or fours that's gonna check raise. 4 5 6 usually we want to check really a lot here, but you know what is what you can do. Generally GTO you want to check really high on this type of the board because it hits big blind really hard, and we have a lot of air because I'm opening 30%, so I'm gonna check like 80% on this board. So I need to check also hands like this. But if the guy will not notice that, and when the guy will not check raise that much, then we can just then we can get away with c-betting and over c-betting. Okay. Okay. Galleon is saying about that hand with when we have king jack and the guy didn't bet the range, and when he double checked, yeah, the guy should be betting all the range there, big range advantage. But I tend to use strategy when they're not betting in the spots they should be betting a lot, uh, where they have big range advantage like ace xx or king xx. I just go with checking back all my range. So I check back all my bluffs, I check back all my sets, everything, all the range I just check behind. I think that's also a really cool strategy. Big size tend to be here on king 10 6. We're going to use a lot of overbet size. Queens doesn't need any basically protection, so queens is really nice check back. Yep, it's probably like that, that people, I mean, on bigger limits they have the feelings for bet range spot, but still some hands in the bet range spots are, you know, some hands are unlogical to be betting. For example, the guy will probably don't want to bet hand like jacks there, you know, but basically it's clear bet always, because when you have that range advantage you can just put everything into the betting without any problems. We're gonna double barrel here. We don't block, basically we don't block board, and he's gonna float a lot of hands like ace highs and queen high, king highs, hands like king queen. He can have king with diamond, ace jack, hands like ace 10 with the club with the backdoor draw. So we're gonna go with bigger sizing on this line. And when we are not blocking the board and blocking the 10, which is nice, I think, and I think he should be he would check raise probably sets on this board, and I said he's pretty capped to like sevens, eights, hand like fours, or hand like ace high and king highs, which we can really attack and get a lot of better hands to fold. So not blocking anything, it's really nice just to go with the bet. 3-9 we're gonna open. I'm gonna also talk about the strategy into the small and big blind because people tend to play them really badly. I'm defending big blind versus small blind 70 to 75% of range, all the range. So 70 or 75% of range is 3-betting or calling. I 3-bet around 20%. So basically I defend 50 and by 50 to 55 only by calling, and 20 by 3-betting. So it's a lot of range to it's a lot of range in the big blind, but you can get away with it because people don't know how to play out of position really good, and in many boards you have so many tools to put them in a tough spot because they need to have check range on many low boards, especially boards like, for example, for let's say board like 4 6 8. Basically we have in the range 5-7 off, and he doesn't have it ever. So we have nuts advantage, we have a lot of top pair because we have king queen, king 8 off, queen 8 off, jack 8 off. We have a lot of two pair combos, and if they go with over c-betting, I just go with the check raising 30 to 40% on the flop, and they just can't handle the pressure because a lot of overbetting on the turn. So people doesn't know how to play like that. They should be a lot of checking on a lot of boards where they don't have the nuts and the big blind with 70% of range has, and they should be pounding boards like king high boards, queen high, ace high boards with a lot of bets because we have a wider range and we have a lot of medium strength hand, and they all have the good top pair, top kicker, top pair, mid kicker, and they can just put a lot of pressure in that spot by overbetting, and they are not doing that. So you can just get a big edge there. What do you think of going on two big bets on the table with queen on the uh, with queens? I like when you have a hand, you always need to decide how many streets of value is that hand worth, and what type of the board it is. So if the board indicates a big size and the king 10x with a flush draw is indicating a big size using, and the most size you want to use is the overbet size on the flop, you need to overbet like 110. It's the best size for that board. And when it's like that, you need to decide what are your queens going to do there. Is your queen need to be overbetting the flop? I don't think so. So the best way to play queens for me, because they don't have any need for protection and they can still get value from weaker hands on the turn and river. So I like to check them behind and protect my checking range, put their hands, put some hands like kings to have the nuts also in check back range, and put some king highs, king x hands, top pairs hands like king 9 for example. When it's two street hand, I like to get the value from turn and river because then you can attack. When it's double checked against the delay, you can bluff really a lot, so I tend to put some value there also to not be over bluffing. Ace queen, classic 3-bet. I will go 1/3 on the king 10-3. Again, really great board for our range. We have the nuts advantage, range advantage. We can mix any size that we like, basically any size that we like. 2-6-7. Here we can bet. We just can bet the whole range. We can bet like 50% of range. The best bluffs for us would be hands like 10x and 9x, and like hand like 10 jack, queen 10, jack 10, stuff like that. Because people will under check raise, even on my limit, especially on this limit, you can just go with a high c-bet frequency. It will not lose you any EV, and you just don't need to think about your check back range. When we are check raise, you're gonna fold ace queen. Whenever you're gonna face a lot less check raise than the GTO, then the value of the c-betting goes up. That's basically it. So you can over c-bet when you're gonna face less check raises, and you can get easy away with it. We're gonna check 7, 8, 10. We are against button range. Button GTO range should be around 4% mixed. Basically here they're gonna call a lot more. They're gonna call a lot of hands they shouldn't be calling. Jack that suited is definitely in the range. We can check call. We can check raise. I'm gonna check call here. Again, we are faced with, for me, unfamiliar ranges. I'm gonna go with the check raise now because on this board he should, on this card, because we have a lot of ace king hands, king queen. They're gonna check call the flop. So I'm gonna go with the check raise on the turn. I'm gonna go with the check there because I just don't know his range, what his range looks like. Okay. I think we could just gonna jam. Okay. I'm gonna overbet jam there. When he called check raise, I would say that he has hand like king jack or king queen, and I think the best value you can get because he used half of the pot. This is definitely weaker player again. Okay. You know, this is the I didn't expect any ace king, of course. but it's pretty, I would say, when we're gonna never fold ace king on this on the half pot step, and we have a lot of king x hands. We're gonna have hands like king jack and king queen with the spade. King jack will gonna be check raise, but king queen with the spade will never be a check raise. It's gonna be always check. So we're gonna have more top pairs that he's gonna have. And when he uses this smaller size, he's not polarizing himself, and he looks like a king x. And we have better king x in the range, so I decided to be the check raise, and we also have sets. And when he calls there, I'm pretty sure when this size that he basically has a king there. So the best way is to go with the overbet shove. Galeong says, because it's rare people check raise turn versus delay c-bet with the king x and likely even is a bluff. Yep, I definitely agree that people under check raise at the delay c-bets, and they overfold to delay c-bets on every limit. They just overfold, and there are a couple of reasons. Maybe they are overstepping. It's rarely, but it happens. If they are overstepping, then they can overfold. It has logic because they will step a lot, and then their weaker part of the range can just go with the folds. They don't need to defend it. But mainly, they're gonna also fold hands that are generally always a calls. Like here, we're just gonna stick what we said. We're gonna exploit the population because they're gonna step a lot of ace-x hands, and when they call there, I would say weak queen or king, and they're gonna fold hands like pocket pairs, which is crazy good for us. So we're gonna pound on these spots. I also do it on my limits because even there they are not doing it correctly. Again, we're gonna go small. Again, we're gonna go small. Those three we're gonna also fold. It's tough at the beginning because now we don't have any information. So basically, we need to think about what we think how the pool play. Clear check. Okay, I'm gonna go with the check again. We're gonna go again delaying and bigger bet there. When you just need to pound on check ranges. It's especially in 3-bet pots, really bad check ranges. And I want to talk about some also really hot spots. I think I will not say 100%, but 90% you can go when they c-bet over, when they have higher c-bet frequency out of position in 3-bet pots, and when they check all the turn. I would say you have profitable bluff with most of your hands in that spot. So I would just, when they check all there, they have mostly medium strength hands and hands that want to get to the showdown, and they are not mixing a lot strong hands there. So I think when they c-bet check call, I have that stats in my head. It's showing a lot of c-bet check call, check folding around 60-65%, and that indicates. And you just need to first just know which spot there is. Is it a spot with a high frequency c-bet? For example, let's say small blind 3-bets the bottom, and the board goes like ace deuce 7, and the guy goes with 1/3, and the turn is like 3, and he goes to the check. I would say whatever hand you called, you just bet turn and shove river, any hand, because his range is gonna mostly be weak ace-x hands and mostly pocket pairs, hands like jacks, or queens, kings, because they will all bet all the flop with it, and on the turn they're just gonna bet ace jack, ace queen, ace king, and suddenly their range is in trouble when they're faced a turn bet and a shove on the river. On the deuce 9-9, I don't think that. I think maybe players will bet a lot of ace highs, and they shouldn't be doing it. But on this limit, I think they can. And until we know that, we will just fold the turn. We're gonna fold queen jack. So pounding on check ranges is something really important, because people have bad checking range in all of spots, especially out of position, and especially in position in 3-bet pots. When they check behind turn, I would do a lot of overbet in that spots, overbet shoving a lot. because there will be a lot kept ranges that they will not gonna want to defend, especially against overbets. Okay, let's get back into the game, and we're gonna talk when some hands or some spot comes. We're gonna talk about it. I want to talk about a lot of multi-way pots, so because really a lot of people is asking me about multi-way. Please help in the multi-way. I'm gonna tell you today when we get into the multi-way. I'm gonna speak you about all the possible strategies you can use in multi-way pots. We are calling ace 4 always, so against this size we are folding. So and so every spot, every part of the poker lines we get, we're gonna talk about them. So when we are in the multi-way, I'm gonna talk about multi-way. When we are in the three-bet pots, I'm gonna tell you about three-bet pots. It's better than to tell from my head. It will be better like this. 7.5. We are three-betting nines. Ace 8 is a call. I think betting whole range in this spot is a way to go. On the 3-4-9, a lot of weekends gonna be in his range. We have king 9, queen 9, and jack 9 suited always. That's nice. We are calling ace highs. Ace 8 queen is pretty strong hand for his range, because his bluffs we're gonna be queen 10, king queen always. He's gonna double barrel hands. He should be betting the flop with a lot of ace queen and ace kings, and he's gonna double barrel it here. So we just can't do anything on that turn. So everything is in the range, and ranging them is 90% of work. First you need to range them, and then you need to know how they play and how they play their range. So it's not enough just to know, okay, their range is weak in this spot. You need to know also, will be they folding that weak part of the range, how will they defend it and stuff like that. So everything is important, and you need to get most information you can get. We have basically zero sample. It's gonna be hard, but you will see how I start when I have no sample. And usually when I have no sample, it's tough at the beginning for me. 3-6 we're gonna check raise. I think also this board will be over c-betted. He should be checking here hands like aces and kings a lot. People are not gonna do it. So they will over c-bet there. 3-6 with a gut shot. I think again we don't block anything. Really nice check raise. All the spots that I think is going to be over c-bet, we're going to do a lot of check raising, because you punish over c-betting only with check raising. You don't punish it with flatting. Basically you're going in his way when you just play passively in those situations. Again, we're gonna be a good player. Okay, Psychopath 50 is here. So this is the our friend from the stream, and he's playing against us. Okay, he's from Croatia. Yeah. Again, we're gonna check a lot on the 4-7-6 connected board that hits big blind perfectly. I like people would no. What is he? Is he betting 7-8 there? What is he repping now? I want to know. Is he betting only hand like king jack, and we have stronger kings, so he shouldn't be, when he steps there he should be stepping with the overbet, and he's now going with the overbet. He should be stepping with the overbet on the turn. Until we know, we're just gonna fold these hands. And now on the river, I would say he reps a flush. And I think our hand is not that bad of the bluff catcher, you know. Depends on his range also. How wide is his range? Is he having hands like ace-8 off? Because if he's having ace-8 off, that's again 16 possible combos to be bluffing with. And with ace-8 off, he's blocking the ace-king, he's blocking the aces. Really nice bluff to be. Yeah. But until we know, we're just gonna have to, and that's the stuff I don't like when I need to play passively until I know. So if you want, at the end of this stream, we can just go and play my limits also. We'll see how it goes. Just where I have sample and I know the players, it's much easier to be playing. But first, let's go starting to make plays here, to try to range them. I think the most important thing is to try to range them, and I'll do my best to show you how I do stuff like that. Okay, nothing to say. We are following. I will tell you what also when we are in the spot. I will tell you what is GTO, what is something that my pool is doing, and what I think they are doing. So we'll mix everything. Uh, Everything what I think and what I assume also. Deuce 10, 9, we can bet a lot. Again, he doesn't have 9s or 10s in the range, which is also real great. Uh, we have the nuts advantage, we have also the range advantage, we want to bet a lot of hands in. Uh, King 8 suited still has decent showdown. I think we can check call it on the turn also. I would rather bet hand like Jack 8 or Queen 8. When we bet one third, generally, when we bet one third there, he should be raising some 10x hands like Ace 10, King 10. We're gonna check call. River is a flush. Yep. Again, probably a weaker player also because you see that's why I prefer check call on the turn. Okay, a6 we're gonna just be calling. Also, I'm gonna speak about my ranges. I use from the big blind polarized range. Polarized range from the big blind. Okay, I'm gonna check call there. When done the turn. I'm gonna go with the pot. Or I think this is also like okay. I think the turn is way better for us than from him, so I'm gonna do a lot of donking. And also they play poorly against the donk, and they just started to be raising a lot against my 1/3 donk. Even they were gonna raise over pairs, and then their range is a lot weaker that I saw from my pool, and I think bet there is really gonna do a lot of work. Let's say what the Gelling says. Just first, let's read it. Gelling said, I think one thing to note in that queen 10 off on the table number 1, low card swap, is that population in hero shoes are likely auto betting flush draws. Yeah, I also agree. That is 100% correct. Yes, yes, I agree. Uh, you know what is important? Generally, people under check back flush draws. You need to know when you want to check a lot of flush draws, and when the board is bad for your range, then you're gonna check really a lot of flush draws. And when the board is really strong for your range, then you're gonna bet most of your flush draws. That is how it works. But people just think, okay, I have a flush draw, I'm just gonna bet. It's not like that, because good players will notice that, and they will punish your range when you go check behind and the flush comes. They will just go and pound you there, because you will not have any flush in the range when you check back. And people tend to do it really a lot, even from small limits to the high limits. They just think, okay, I have flush draw, I just have to always bet. It's not like that. I'm gonna bet ace queen on the jack 9 4. Again, we have bigger range advantage. When we have bigger range advantage, I usually bet smaller, but you can do anything. You can bet bigger. Ace queen wants to bet smaller, but you can have all sizes in. There is no any big dramatic EV changing. Basically, any size is doing okay. When you have big range advantage, you can do anything. You just can't go wrong in these spots. Okay. Let's see what happened with C. I want to also have a feeling for them how they play. Let's see there. Okay, the guy is shorter. Um, leaving 0.1 bb's. Okay, we're gonna see what happened there. Did the guy immediately check raise like he should be doing? Did this guy only call like he should be doing with kings? And this guy jammed. Yep. You see, when this happens, when you check raise and they shove all your overpairs, you have so big EV in your check raises that is insane. You need to put a lot of check raise bluffs in, and when they call this spot, they just kept to under pair, bet 9x, and they don't have ever overpair or ace highs. We're gonna go with the 4-bet there. In these positions, not ideal, but this combo I'm gonna go with the 4-bet. Against the 4x, we are not gonna call ace queen. We're gonna fall to a shove, but I think 4-bet bluff is really okay. Let's see what happened there. Okay. You should be pounding on there when they are calling check raise, you know, when they're just calling check raise. Because if you know they're just jamming always overpair, it's sick what you can do to them when they're just calling, you know. We're gonna squeeze there. King 7, 7 9 I'm gonna fold, queen 7 call. 4 6 9 we get the check back there. I don't think they're checking many top pair hands, so we can bet small. I think it's the best way to go. We want to keep them and 1/3 on the river. And I don't think they are ever checking back an overpair. And I think then we have the easy game. Again here we cut off against the big blind there. On the 4-10 king two-tone. Again, Solar prefers a bigger size. So we're just gonna check behind hand like the jack 10. We can bet it small also. It's a good strategy. You're not gonna lose much by it. But I think this way is better. You have a check range. You have a lot of delay c-bet bluffs opportunities because people overfold on it. You're not gonna be check raised a lot, so I'm just gonna check ace queen. We're not gonna do anything. We are of course calling it as a check raise. I'm not sure what he's repping on, with the check raise. Is he check raise now king x, king jack, king queen? He should be mainly stabbing the turn, and for me this check raise, I don't know what hand except pocket trees or pocket fours has any sense. So is he want to check raise? Does he want to check raise hand like a king queen? I think he wants to, he should be prefer betting with it because he has a lot of draws that he also wants to be betting. Yeah, he just completely probably a weaker player. Because why is he not bluffing now? You check raised. Why are not, you floated the king 10-4. Okay, it was a check. It was a check behind. I apologize. So you're not stabbing the ace 5 and you go with the check raise now. I mean, it's okay. You block ace king, but ace king is going to be c-betting. You block aces, but ace is going to be c-bet all the time. So your blockers are not playing in your way. If he's check raising there, I think he needs to bluff river, and he needs to bluff it with the size that he reps. As basically said that he's mostly repping. People don't play king queen or king jack that way, so he mainly reps a set that wants to go for value with a sneaky check raise. Okay, king jack 6. I'm gonna bet 1/3. These are the spot I think we can just be over c-betting, because you can fold out hands like 3s, 4s, 5s. You can have profitable bluff on the later stage. And finally, we are in the multi-way pot. This is what I was trying to speak with you about. Okay, generally this hand is checking 4-way always, but when we have weaker players, it is better for you to go betting. And Solar says that you need to be betting there in the multi-way pots, in these spots, around like 10%, 10 to 15%. And it's much easier to be playing check range than to betting like that. But when you have the weaker players, everything changes. Everything changes. And when you have the weaker player, you just want to be betting more, you know. Uh, we're gonna overbet the turn. So generally, when you are against good regs and only regs, you want to have check range there. But when it's weaker player, you're gonna lose a lot of value. And I tell to my guys, always be then betting these type of hands. You just can be going uh, you just can be going crazy and betting 40% of range, but betting hands like ace king, ace queen, sets and mixing with the best bluffs, I think is gonna work okay. We can go with an overbet also on the river. We can go with a small size. I'm gonna go with the smaller size now. I would say that he mainly has hand like mostly gonna be jack X hands that's gonna call. I don't think maybe even like pocket sixes can call. So I think I'm gonna put my two pair in the normal size. We are losing basically only from a queen jack. Uh, and we can just choose the size whatever we want to choose. Okay, king queen gonna be check again. You see, I don't understand now. What are you betting with this size? But they can bet like ace 5 with the 5 of hearts. That's why we just not gonna call until we know. But it does, it looks bluffy to me, real bluffy. Okay, ace queen opening, jack 10. We are gonna fold because the guy is not full stacked. King 7. We're gonna open. Cyprian is calling us. I would say that Cyprian is also a weaker player by we don't have, we just can't see it, but he did call on the small blind hand, like okay, he called ace jack off and he called jack 6 suit. Yeah, he's definitely a weaker player, so we're gonna mark him as a weaker player. We're gonna have betting range there. We're gonna bet when it's two broadways, you basically always have range advantage. So we're gonna go with this. Okay, I'm gonna check for the king 7. Dual smooth multi. Yep. Commodus always use 1/3 size in multi-way. Always. Uh, I see people on my limit in the 3-bet pots multi-way going 2/3. I see people out of position going 2/3 multi-way. But I think that's why is this so bad? It's so bad because then the people can go and just raise you up. They don't have to call, but by playing smaller size you can put more bluffs, and you need to then just to make them defend some part of the range. If you go like 2/3 bomb it, okay, the guy can fold top pairs and who cares, you know. You're basically gonna be punished because you're gonna overfold a part of the range you want to be calling, and you're just gonna be faced with the raises there, and when they raise you with your big size you're gonna be in trouble. You're basically risking too much to win too little in these spots, and multi-way the ranges will be stronger, of your opponent's ranges will be stronger, and most of the time your opponent is gonna be having the stronger range than you're gonna have. Again, I would like to go into the multi-way pop-up to see what is going on. Gonna check nines there. Poof, poof, poof. This guy seems aggressive, but it's only 62 hands. We don't know anything. We don't know also his multi-way range, how it looks like. But again, I would say that this is again under bluff spot, because when we check all that, I think they're gonna give up a lot. So and then they won't be betting without equity, and I don't think he's now bluffing queen 9 of spade. Uh, so I'm gonna fold until I know. We're gonna check behind nines. There's nothing we can use. Also, multi-way pots. It is important to notice one thing. If you have one player in position to you, it's much different than when you are in position to other players, because when you are in position you can bet a lot more, because first you have the guys that are out of position too. You're going to realize more equity, and you put them in a tougher spot because uh, they can't realize free equity like you can, and they need to higher up their check raise range. So you attack them by c-betting small. Really, you really attack them really hard, because they need to check raise their value hands but still don't want to be kept on many boards. So you put them in a tough spot. And always, I would say, always bet 1/3 in multi-way pots. Always bet 1/3, or you can go even smaller than that. When you're out of position, it's go trickier, because when you have at least one player that is reg uh, in position to you, his range is condensed. It is made of around 4% of mixed hands. A lot of pocket pairs, a lot of hands like broadways, some suited aces, and a lot of boards he just hits much better based on the range percentage, not about hand strength. His 4% range flops a lot better on most boards than your range of about 20+% of hands. That's why you just can't be betting on many boards. You just have to have basically check range. You can just bet any hands. For example, just think about low hands, low boards, 4, 5, 8. How can you bet there? He's having fours, he's having fives, he's having 6, 7s. He's not going to fold anything to you. And if he's good, he's just going to raise your c-bet. And what you're going to do with your overpairs? When he's raising there, you're not going to like your overpairs a lot. So when you have one player in position to and he's a reg, it goes really tough, because on most boards you're not equity favorite, and basically you just have to check. His condensed range is hitting it really good. I'm gonna peel there. Our hand can be also check raise on the flop sometimes. Okay. Ace 9 off, and that's the reason. But in some spots, when you have weaker player in mix in there, it's just better to be betting. For example, like we had ace king, it's better to bet that ace king when weaker player is there than to check it, you know, because you're gonna lose value, and turn can break your action also. So small c-bet frequency like 10 to 15%, if you're pushing it like 20%, is okay. But when it's all regs there, you basically want to have check range, and then incorporate a lot of delay c-bet overbets, a lot of check raising, all the stuff that are natural when you play out of position. This guy seems to be regish. Yeah, I think we can put in a small bet on the river. Yeah, I think it's okay. We did get value from hands like 8s, which is really nice. We're gonna bet king 9 with jack 8. Also, what is really interesting is how you play against the step in position. Which boards you do a lot of check raising in, which hands do you use in check raise. That is all really important stuff, because you want to mix a lot of strong hands into your check calling range. So you're gonna mix sets into your check calling range. I'm going to call against this player. We have a fish on the bigger player on the small blind, so we got a higher V there, and we are against UTG 69. I don't want to 3-bet this hand and get 4-bet with it, because I don't think against this type of players you can profitably call these hands in these positions. So I would like to call when we have a weaker player in the blinds. I'm gonna call there. Uh, checking is okay. If he bets, I'm gonna. Our hand is really nice bluff catcher, but uh, is he c-betting flop with tens or hand like Jack 10? I'm not sure. Okay, he did bet with sixes, which if you're betting those pocket pairs, he should be bluffing it on the turn on the river, because on this run out his sixes are never gonna be good. Okay, didn't expect that he will not bluff those type of hands, and I don't think that he's gonna bet tens there, so I think it's fine. I'm gonna fold there. We're not gonna do our betting here. Just not. We're gonna put ace 8 into the normal size. I'm gonna go with the fold. 27 aggression on the river. Let me just check this guy up. Okay. This guy is reg, and I don't like this. When he's using this big size, I don't think he's using it with a like 5-8 suited or 4-8 suited. Yep. He can maybe have hand like an ace 8. Basically, we are calling for split. I'm just gonna go with the fold on the river. I'm gonna go with an overbet. Okay. The guy is a weak reg. We're gonna put the mark on, and let's read the question. What is your feeling about overbets on this limit? I think population is not used to it, facing those and overfolding in general. On my pool, on researching of my pool, they over massively fold to an overbet, especially on overbet on the river, and they especially fold when they call overbet and then face again with an overbet on the river. So they call an overbet on the turn and they face another overbet. They're massively folding. On this limit, I would say they are folding even more. Metisuli says, Mirko discovered you recently, you're very undervalued. Man, you know, that sentence is hard. Basically, who is valuing who, I want to be valued from my family and my friends, but in this world of internet, it's not the real world, so I don't care much about that. But thanks for your how can I say that, compliments. I really appreciate it. But again, I just started also, and I'm not doing a lot of streaming because I like to play poker a lot. I really enjoy playing. I really like enjoying competition. I play MTT tournaments. I play MTT live tournaments, online tournaments. I play cash games. I like to play heads up. I like to play everything, and I just can't get time for. I just can't get the time for streaming. I mean, I also enjoy streaming. I enjoy interacting with people. I have 100 people on my Discord that are using my program, my HUD, or that are my friends, and I enjoy. I'm gonna go with a tribute there, which is a little bit on the. I think here probably people open UTG less than 70%. Even I open 20%, but people generally. But I mean, I King 10 suited is great. I'm gonna fold. I'm gonna fall in these positions, and I always give my best. I mean, I play an L10. It's for me. It feels like I'm playing for my life. I just want to win. I want to play good. I want to play better. I want to fix all my mistakes. And also, I'm gonna always tell you the 100% of my thought process. Um, uh, I will always give everything I have without without any other stuff. I mean, 100% what I know, no bullshit and stuff like that. And I think that's the way to go. And if people recognize that, great. If not, what I can do, man. In poker community, yeah. Uh, I have a small poker community on my Discord. That's basically guys from that know me real long years from my poker forum in Croatia. Yeah. So we are just starting. I'm gonna do what I can do, but everything else is not on me. When checking on players, that makes a difference for you if the reg is winning or losing. Like 10 BB's winner versus 5. Yeah. Fat King Louis, man. Uh, Definitely, it has a lot of. Because uh, people that are generally losing, they are doing something wrong. Always. You just can't lose and do everything correct. It's just not possible. So winners generally to do all these things better, and they are doing something right because they are winning, and losing players are doing something wrong. And when you see a losing player, even if he's losing 1 BB, 2 BB, or 5 BBs, he's doing something wrong, and you immediately know that he's doing something wrong, and that you need to find these leaks immediately or fast as you can. And against better players, it's going to be tougher. They're going to mask their weaknesses a lot. They're going to mix their game, and you just need to be prepared for that. And this range is also unfamiliar to me. Step the flop that you have enormous range disadvantage on. You bet the turn if you got raised. You again dong the turn. I would say he probably has ace-x hands, but I don't know. Or maybe he has hand like, I don't know, 7-8, or yeah. He would definitely call ace on the river, so it shouldn't be some kind of draw. And you should, it's really important when you are playing to immediately identify what type of the player you're playing against, because then you can have expectation, you can have you can just then build your strategies, because if you don't know, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. When I started on the PokerStars, I didn't have any sample when I started to play, and it was, for me at the beginning, like first 10 sessions I lost eight sessions immediately at the beginning. Uh, then I try to, but fast I just get to know my pool really fast, because when I see what they are doing, I just connect the dots and I have a feeling for them, good feeling for the game, for what are they doing. So after this like month, let's say around 3 weeks to month, then when I get to know them, it started to get a lot easier for me. And uh, that is closely connected to your question. It's massively different, I would say. Even 2BB winner and 2BB losing is massively different in strategies, in playing their range. Their range will break far more in many spots than winner than compared to a winning player. Okay, 7.5. In position, I'm always 3-betting 3x. I just want to encourage them, because he needs to call king 9 suited, 8-10 suited there. I just want to get him the opportunity to be calling all of these hands and playing them against me. So deuce 3-5. We're gonna we need to know, there is he having like all these deuce 3s, 4s, 5s in the range. If yes, then we need to check some hands like overpairs. Jacks you want to bet most often, but I think they're also fine as checking back. Cutter versus button, against this size, he's gonna call all the pocket pairs. So I just like to, when the board is better for them, and it is better for them because they have massively range advantage on us, I just like to be basically checking most of my range there. We also need to think how we look in his eyes. And what is he now? If he bets there, is he betting 7s, 8? I don't think so. So he's gonna be he's gonna be polarized to Queen X, and I don't think the Ace Queen should be betting ever. Stabbing as a bluff. I'm gonna call there with this, and of course we are of course always calling the river there. He's polarizing, I would say, himself to a deuce, 3s or 5x, and I think we played it okay. Let's just talk about what he needs to do with the 5-6. We're gonna three bet. We're gonna go 1/3. Again, this board, big range advantage. We don't know what he's raising, isolating and calling a three bet. But I would say if I have to guess hands like 7s plus, 6s plus maybe, a lot of ace queen there, a lot of broadways, suited broadways mostly, hands like 8s, 9s, 10s are gonna always be there. So I will just be betting with 1/3 to put his range in a tougher spot. In a big blind you can have strategies where you go to 12.5. A lot of players on my limit are doing it. I only doing it against a player that underfold to three bets. But if they fold a lot, I just use normal size, even if my range is polarized or not. And then we're gonna back on this hand. It's gonna be important hand. Jack XX. I'm gonna just go with 1/3. Think it's really okay bet. We make him call hands like king queen. I think I'm going to go like this. I'm going to fall to jam. He shouldn't be raising a lot on that board. And I think our hand blocking the ace jack and the king jack is really great as a three bet bluff. And then when he's calling, I think we can bet or jam a lot of turns, especially if he goes with over our three bet the flop when he goes to jamming. We can of course call, it's fine, but ace king there I just like to use as a three bet with smaller size. I think it's really nice. And you have queens, kings and aces, and when he's raising in that spot where he shouldn't be raising a lot because he has significant range disadvantage, it's okay. Let's go back to this hand. What does he need to do with 5? When I'm c-betting there and people will over c-bet this board, I would go with the check raise all is 5-6. First, you have massively range advantage where you have all the sets and we don't have any set. Ace 4 suited we both have probably. We both have definitely. Some part of our ace 4 suited is gonna call preflop, so he's gonna have even more hand like ace 4. So he has massive range advantage, and what we can do there? I think we just have to go in the defensive, and that's why I check behind even jacks. That has sense for them to be betting them. Yeah. I think we can call or 4-bet. It's okay. We have the bigger player in. I think it's call is with ace jack suited is okay. Ace queen off would be always gonna be. I think he's gonna also need to bet ace king a lot. A lot of action. I just can't go into the hand I wanted to talk about, but generally, yeah, I'm just gonna go with the bet there. We're gonna wrap hand like king x, but mainly we wrap king queen. That's the problem. But when he check behind turn, I don't think he has ever ace king, and we can fold him out of 9s and 10s. That's nice. Okay, let's say what Galion says. I feel like turn second small donk bet is really often some form of draw. They try to get cheap price on the table number 1 with the ace queen hand. Okay. We are 3-betting there. I'm gonna go with the big raise there. Okay. Gonna fold. Yeah, basically that's what I was trying to say there. I think we just have to play defensive. And on the river, when he bets, it looks like he bets hand like for value. His value range is still deuces, threes, 5x, and I think he just can bet hand like queen 10 that he decided to bluff queen 10 of hearts, for example. Even with this side, I think he can, because he probably thinks that we are not checking back aces, kings, queens behind. Okay. Uh, Gelok was saying about that hand on table one, number one, where we have the ace queen. Yeah, but it's different when weaker player donk and when the reg donk. Reg donks in the spots where his range has big advantage, and he just can't go donking because the player in position will be checking back a lot. So he have incentive to be donking because the turn will probably go check check. But fish donk or weaker players donk, they have their reasoning whatsoever. They are donking in many of the wrong spots or in terrible spots to be donking. They're just deciding, okay, I have the hand, I want to donk it. I have the nuts, I want to donk it. I have the, I don't know, a draw, I want to donk it. Maybe he'll fold or stuff like this. So I would say it's a lot. It's drastically big difference in that way. Jack 4 we're gonna fold. King 9 is a clear call there. And again on this board, if he's using polarized range, he should be betting most of the range. If he's using polarized, and people, I don't think they are using on this limits polarized range. So we can raise, we can call. I would prefer hands like Queen 9 or King 9 to be raising. So tremendous turn for our range. I think he just had to check there. Yeah. We're gonna go bet small because we want to bet still. We want to bet hands like fives, sevens, eights. I'm gonna basically jam the river. We don't have the club blocker, but we're gonna fold now. If he's checking, I would probably bet it around 2/3, so I can bet 6x and sets with it, not to be polarized in his eyes to flush. Only in this spot we just have to fold it. We don't have anything, and when he's doing something like that, when he checks there, it's be even better, even more profitable bluff on our end. Yep, I'm gonna bet 1/3 there. Okay, jacks there. Okay, we're just gonna go to showdown. Queen 8/5. Another queen is there. He should be having queen 10 off plus in the range. He should be check raising ace queen mostly on the flop. We're blocking king queen, but we are also having a clubs, so we are block hand like queen king 10 of clubs and king jack of clubs, hand that will fold now on the turn. So our head is not ideal. Yep. And we're gonna go against 1/3. Think it's fine. Okay. I would say this is also really strong board for him. He's not opening that much, and I would say he probably called 3-bet 7s plus, so I'm gonna go with the check. And now we're gonna go with betting smaller like this. Again, we're gonna attack check ranges a lot, and on this board we're gonna check aces, kings, we're gonna check queens, so tens doesn't have incentive to be betting, even jacks doesn't need to be bet there. So a lot of checking. When you see that these positions, this board crush his range, doesn't do a lot for our range because still we have a lot of ace jack off, king queen off, suited broadways, ace king, all that stuff, all that there, and we just can be betting a lot, but we just then need to put some value hands into our checking range to be able to play the range from the turn. Okay, sixes, nothing. We're gonna tribute our friend from the chat from the stream. 4x only. Okay. I'm gonna go with the tribute there. I don't like this immediately. We need to call the flop, but I'm gonna fold on a turn. The player is 29-5. He's donking the flop. I definitely don't like it. Let's try to go to the showdown. I'm gonna fold immediately there. And here we're gonna go 1/4 on the King Jack 10. Monotone. We need to just lower down our. We have a lot of suited hands in my polarized big blind range. We have obviously all the sets there. Magic Orange is here. Thanks, Magic. Stick around with it, with us. If you have any questions, please ask. It's also decides what he's going to do with eights without diamond. It's going to be hard for a lot of his range to be calling there. So really nice 1/4 bet. We get it through. Really nice to do. So let me just tell you a little bit about the big series we are doing. So every month we have 4 videos at the beginning of the week, 4 big streams. At the end of the last stream of the month, I will be there and we will have a guest there. Guest will be somebody from some poker crusher or some coach for PokerStrategy. If you want, you can say if you want to see somebody. First guest will be Lemon, because he's really interesting, funny. It will be for sure fun stream. Maybe we can get Ben's B also there. So if you want that, just go into my blog and say who would you like to see. I'm gonna go with the check raise there, and I will try. Me and guys for PokerStrategy will try to make that happen. I'm gonna 3-bet there. Okay. And then at the end of that month, when we do the last dual stream, we'll make a conclusion of the limit. So limit summary, where I will give the biggest mistakes to avoid. We are just calling it, and I want to also talk about this, but here when we are deep, more than like 140 blinds, I don't have a 5-bet range. So every hand from my range that I'm continuing, I'm continuing only with calling a 4-bet. There is no 5-bet range, so I have aces, kings, queen, jacks, ace, king. I have everything in the range, and ace 10 suited also fit there in the range. We did 3-bet him a couple of times, so I expect he's gonna fight back. His value range probably ace, king, and maybe queens plus. But when we are deep, people tend to call also ace, king, so yep, I'm just gonna call it once more. I'm gonna jam the river. I don't think our ace 10 is good, and we have ace jack. We have tens. We have queens. We have kings. We have ace king. Value range is ace king. Okay, tens we can fold. Tens we can probably fold on the turn. Maybe even on the flop. But I'm not going anywhere with the ace jack. And our range is also uncapped, and we have the queens, kings, we have king, queen suited, we have all the ace king. And when he checks there, I'm pretty sure he's never going to check hand like ace king or better. Maybe he will check ace king, but even ace king is a pure bluff catcher when I jam the river in this spot, so he's going to be in a tough spot. How long will I playing NL10? I will play NL10 three more sessions, so until the end of this month. But that doesn't mean we can play. We can play another time. I can stream NL200 or NL400 from my poker. It's not that problematic. But generally Friday. Today is Thursday, but generally I will do stream Friday from 8. Okay, I'm gonna call Friday from 8 o'clock. We're just gonna stream NL10. We are calling the I'm not sure what he reps now. I'm gonna call A6 always. I'm not sure what he reps now. Is he repping a straight or he's doing it with hands like eights? I'm not sure. I'm sure he's not doing it with the overpair for sure, but maybe he is. I don't know. Okay, he's doing it with the two pair. Okay, we are calling there. I don't think that that 8-9 there is a overbet. We're gonna do big raise there. We can go bigger. We can go bigger. Let's see how the Gandalf got. He's probably reg, so we're gonna put him as a reg from what I see. So let's see how did he play the hand. Okay. Yep, he played it okay. Yep, I like how this guy is playing. Think he's solid. Basically, what I was trying to say, at the end of the month, you will get everything. You will get limit summary where me and guest will go through all the stuff. You will get the biggest mistakes to avoid, the best exploits you can do, best adjustments to do, best hotspots for printing money in some spots. Everything will be at one place, and after that, when we go to the next limit, we will do comparison of the limit with the limit we played before. So I will compare NL25 to NL10. We'll compare reg by reg, fish by fish, recreational player by recreational player, or best tracks with best tracks, and how much is the difference between limits. That's I think the most important thing, and that people will then see, okay, I play NL10, what I need to do to get to the NL25, and there we will have your answer. You need to do this better, that better. I think the series is really good, because I will always start with zero sample. You will see me starting from basically nothing. You will start me from nothing, and you will see what I'm doing. If they, I will answer all your questions about strategies, so you'll have good understanding what you need to do. I think I don't think there's that type of content you can find online, and that nobody has done something like that. Okay, let's go back into the strategy. First table, queen 8 suited. Let's go ranging them. Try to range them. I would say this guy is nitty. We'll put him immediately as a nit. Maybe I'll do some mistakes in labeling, so if you know if somebody is reg or not, maybe you play this limit and just tell me. Just if I label somebody wrong. I'm gonna go small, wrapping like a jack X hand, jack queen jack. He has king. I basically want to fold hand like random ace X, or hand like queen 9 or queen 10. Small size, and think will do that work that needs to be done. I'm gonna fold there, so now I'm gonna fold. Yep. Upside do it, verve M. Also probably Rex. We'll call queen 4. Deuce 9 suited are we are calling. I'm calling all the suited hands in the big blind, so betting there. Hmm. Uh, I think we can check behind here. We still have hands like ace-6 that wants to check, hands like 5-6, and we can delay the bluff on the river if the nice combination comes. Uh, I think he would bet step 9x hand. Okay, probably on the flop. Okay, I'm gonna go big. Okay, fold. Okay, it has sense. Yeah, but I think our hand can be folded multi-way also. It can be folded multi-way. Also, what I was trying to talk about is the biggest difference in what I think in players. I think the biggest difference is on NL50, and all the guys that are with me on my Discord that play that lower limits, and they when they start to play NL50, they all say NL50 is some other world. Is the biggest difference from any other limits. For example, when I started to play NL 100 and get to the NL 200, it was basically the same. On iPoker, when I play NL 400, the same players play that play NL 200. So the difference is really small. But when you get from NL 25 to NL 50, the difference is massive. Massive difference. And people have troubles to adjusting to it. So you will see even now when we get to that limit how is the big difference there, because people tend to play a lot better, a lot more solid, a lot more aggressive. Yep, it's definitely the biggest difference. I'm gonna fold ace-3 suited. I think I'm just gonna mark this guy as a reg. Probably is, and this guy is definitely a reg. So when you mark them, it's just easier for me. When I see, I immediately can get my mindset. Jack 9 I'm gonna fold. Deuce 10 folded. Okay. About the strategy points also, what I think it's useful. I think you have a couple of good hotspots. I put them as a badge in my heart, but just let you know them. I think all of them are connected with some of the check ranges. Whatever part of the check range you want, the people will trouble with it. If you see check folds out of position, they have troubles with it. C-bet check call out of position massively is playing bad. They c-bet check call and then check fold in 3-bet pots and in single raise spot massively. You can take advantage of these spots. You don't even need to have any hands. You basically just put pressure in those spots. Then delay stuff. Delay is full of exploits. Delay things are people play against delay in 3-bet pots, especially. Their check range in position as the caller in 3-bet pot is really bad, and then you can also take advantage when they check behind, because on many boards you will have a low c-bet frequency. For example, you 3-bet small blind versus button and the board comes, let's say 4, 6, 7, or let's say deuce 5, 8. You're gonna have a lot of checks there, and then when they check behind, you can just pound them really hard with your delays, and then what I like to do, I like to do a lot of overbetting in these spots. So there's a lot of really nice basically any two card printing spots, and if you just go into the pool and try to research them a little bit, if you have the sample for it, I think, or you just in game notice stuff like that, I think that can get massively important for your win rate. People always try to say, how is this possible that you have that type of the red line? That's always connected because I only play my range. If you play your range and not your hand, you're not you're not dependable on the run. But if you play mainly your hand, then the run decide uh, how the month will gonna be for you. Is it gonna be winning month or losing month? Basically, it's all about the run. I noticed that really really long time ago, and yeah, we're just gonna go with the raise now. The guy stepped there again. Top pair weak kicker. He steps all the time. So okay, just gonna go with the jam. He's again donking the board that he should never be donking on. Board that has enormous range disadvantage, and you always want to immediately trying to take that advantage on, because he's doing something they shouldn't be doing ever. And the best adjustment is to just go with a high raise. Again, we're gonna 3-bet our friend. Again, we're gonna give him good odds to be calling. He needs to continue here hands like king 8 suited against us, king 9 suited, 8 10 suited, 7. All the suited connectors are gonna be called. Most of the suited aces gonna be called. So we just want to have them just make him call all these hands and play them out of position in 3-bet pots against us. And when I see people going with the 4x in position, I'm just always going, what is going on? Why are you doing it? There's just no sense. And I see a lot of this type of player, like 16 14 and goes 3-bet 4x. I mean, against those type of players, you can mainly, if they 4-bet 4x and they play like that, I mean, you just can go, you can just have 4-bet or call, 4-bet or fold strategy even. Okay, table number 3 we are playing. Okay, our hand is really nice for betting. We can go 1/3, we can go 2/3. Let's go like this. I do a lot of 1/3 betting out of position also, but you need to also know out of position on most boards will have low c-bet frequency. This board is a little bit different because we are against a weaker player, and the weaker player range will probably be wider, and when his range is wider, with these great blockers and turn and river possibility bluffs, it's going to be crucial. Ace-Jack I'm going to mainly be calling. Let's see his range. Just to have feeling one hand, I can see just to have, if I see like 6-7 suited, then I will know at least that he has 10% of 3-bet range. If I see hand like Ace-Jack off, then it's also really important. Okay. We can check raise, we can call. I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, I'm gonna call King Jack always. A7. He should be having a lot of I think he should be continuing. Yeah, he should be continuing over pairs betting on the turn. So I would say he's probably kept with nothing or hands like 10s and 9s. Let's see. We don't have sample how he plays when he made 4-bet. He did c-bet 1 out of 1 time. One fourth. Yeah. I'm gonna call once more. We don't have the blocker here, which is not that great. This doesn't have sense. Now he's not wrapping kings and aces anymore. Now he's only wrapping flushes, basically. Flushes and hands like queens. That I don't think he's playing ever like this. Now I like the float even more. Because if the spade didn't come out, I think we would have profitable bluff. I think he can even bet, my experience says there they are betting kings and aces bigger size, and we are also blocking kings. They are betting bigger, just like normal regs. Good regs will do like this, but like normal regs and mediocre regs will do this with bluffs. But when they have kings, they're just gonna bomb it. Yeah, you see this size doesn't have sense. If you're going for stacks, you're gonna bet 30, 35. That's why I wanted to float the turn and make a bluff on the river. This is his second 4-bet. I mean, our hand in this position is gonna be fold. This really looks to me really bluffy. Maybe even hand like an ace king with blocker. It looks. Yep. Looks like that. I'm gonna go with the 3, but this guy is also probably weaker player. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like that. Generally, in 4-bet pots, I have few really cool things to say that will help you a lot. My pool, they are, let's say they call a 4-bet and the board is low, like 2, 5, 9s. When you bet, you can expect jamming from 10s and jacks almost all the time, which I don't think in many spots it's not that correct of the play. For example, you call a 4-bet and the board is like 2s 5 5, or let's say 6 7 7, or let's say 4 5 9. You want to call a lot of jacks, queens, 10s, because you have enormous range disadvantage. And if you're playing your overpairs like this, the guys can just easily be betting really small, really small. For example, that strategy about that percent is come just because of that players are starting to doing just on your c-bet, just 3-betting or jamming their overpairs, and I see a lot of them doing that still. And then what I like to do, I go with the real small bet on the flop, 10% bet, or let's say 20% bet. And when they're just calling, then betting the turn a lot, and just also using the smaller size on the turn and jamming over rivers a lot, because they will always, my pool will always check raise the overpair on the flop, or shove it on the turn, and they double call range is really weak, and then you can just, it's always like a weak pair, or some type of ace high or draw hand, and you can just easily then just triple barrel them off. Yep. And also my pool, from what I noticed how they play forward pots, when they have kings and aces and the board is like queen 9 two-tone, it's gonna be bet size and shove turn, you know. What is the weakest hand that you would call in a king jack hand where he shoved? We have the ace queen with the ace of spade. I would definitely call that hand. Interesting question, Commodus. Really interesting. Yep, I would definitely call ace, because it's small blind versus big blind. We have all ace queens are calling a 4-bet, so we are calling the ace queen, definitely calling the turn. Yep, I would call the ace queen there. If I'm having the ace of spade, I would always call it. Okay. Also, let's say, because my strategy is when we are against more than 140 blinds, I'm just calling. I don't have 5-bet range, so I have everything in the range also. Okay. Basically reps is 6. Now the 6 is not betting, and I don't think he's checking 9, and he's polarizing himself to like pocket 6s, I would say. I don't think he's betting hand like a6 now, and we also block that. Only hand that can be bet like this is hand like king 9 or queen 9 with a harder check behind. I don't think he's gonna do that. I can raise there, but I don't want to raise. I think we have a clear call. Okay. Let's see again. So on the flop, what are we calling? We are calling tens. We are calling jacks. We are calling queen x hands. On the turn, we are also calling them. We are gonna jam some ace queens, but with the ace of spade, I would definitely be calling. I would say ace queen of spade, ace queen. You just have to call it off. You just have to call ace queen off, and you just have to. If you have ace of spade, then of course it's easy call. You know, still he needs to have hands like king 10 suited in a 4-bet range, hands like jack 10 suited part of. So all of these hands can, I mean, against an unknown player is tougher because we don't know anything about him, but I wouldn't fold ace queen in this spot. Basically it's like that. The problem is with the hand like jacks with the jack of spade. It's really bad. Yeah, maybe with the spade is not that bad, but generally jacks are bad hand to have because most of his bluffs we're gonna have 10 or jack. I'm gonna go with the call. Not sure what the reg. He only reps a flush, and flush shouldn't be playing like this ever. You call small and then you don't river. Like that queen helped your range or what? Doesn't have real bad played. I mean, I'm just gonna mark him as a weak player. Weak reg. What are you donking here? Why is the river? What the river changed? If he check raised the turn, great. Okay, you're gonna mix in bluffs. But what hand's gonna call 2 times and then gonna donk the river? I mean, I'm gonna call 5s of course, but this line is value heavy, ultra value heavy. And even on my limits, when they do it, they don't have any bluffs in it. That's why I made the donk river pop up, where you see every size donking river on every size on every possible line, just to see. I'm gonna fold against this type of player. I think he's gonna be really tight tribeter. But basically, against unknown players, I would defend. Against the unknown player, I would defend in a GTO way. So I wouldn't fold hands like strong as ace queen there. With ace queen, you don't block any bluffs. Also, with our hands, you block bluffs. We're gonna just go raise. He should be checking this board monstrously, and he's going with this. So I'm just gonna go with a big raise because he's doing something he shouldn't be ever doing, and I'm just gonna immediately pound on it. He's betting this board against the button range. The button range crushed this board. One check. And when he's c-betting, and he should be a lot of checking, and then I can immediately assume he's over c-betting it, then definitely I'm gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with a lot of raising in. Table number 1, nothing. Table number 3, we're gonna open. Also, it's interesting to talk about out of position play. People play out of position in this today is also not playing it good. On my limits, they are under c-betting it or over c-betting it. There is no that golden middle nowhere, because one type of player are c-betting 50% out of position. They generally don't care. They just go with the c-bet. Against this type of players, I'm going to raise flops to 20 to 30%. Other players go to check most of the ranges on many spots, but on many boards. But that's also not good strategy, because just think about the board like King Jack 4. You have enormous range advantage. You have many hands that you want to bet. You want to build the pot with hands like Ace King, with a hand like King Queen. You want to bluff hands like deuces, threes, fours, like that low under pairs that doesn't have basically any equity. And you need to check fold them if you check. You know, I'm gonna open this. So people out of position play really bad, and that's the also one good good spot for be flatting also more on the button, especially if you have the guys that are not squeezing enough on the blinds, or if you have the weak player or a fish in a blind, because without any risk you will just massively with your win rate you're gonna go up in these spots. He should be betting hands like those trick win. In these positions he should be betting like 70% plus, even more, because we don't have in a calling range any ace queen off. Okay, we are calling this, and we are continuing here, and he should be betting ace king always, ace jack always, but people maybe don't doing that, so we're gonna split mostly here, I think. Yep. And I don't think he's betting the turn with that size ace king, but this guy is weaker player. He can have probably yep. I was trying to say he's a weaker player. He can maybe have an ace king there. The problem here is if he's having a hand like ace 5 suited and he's playing like this, but fish, when they usually use big sizes, they always have a really strong hand. I'm gonna fold to this. Okay. And also we don't know if maybe he checked pocket queens there on the flop. We just don't know. We just don't know. We know that he did have king 6 that hand. Let's see where it was. Or king 10. He had king 10 there and tried to bluff us off. But you see, he used this size and he didn't trap anything basically. He didn't use the orbit, or he didn't use a shove, or we're gonna fold until we know. It's gonna be hard. I always like to make thick calls and hero calls, and I like to go deep into the understanding of my opponents. It's gonna be hard to do that without sample, but all the small stuff you can see is gonna be important. All the small things you can catch from our session. That's why I'm only playing 4 tables, because I want to have an idea about anything. I want to see what are they doing when I'm not in the hand also. I'm gonna go with a 3-bet there, king queen we're gonna open. 9-10 off, gonna be fold, also fold. Ace 10 off, it's good enough for 3-bet. Yep, good enough. 8-10 probably need. We're gonna wait few more hands, but it's gonna be probably need. Queen jack off against 18-12, not gonna do the work. Also 8-8 ace 8 off, not gonna do anything. We have a hand there, double barrel. Look at the size there. It looks really bad, because if you want, you need to jam. You don't. This size doesn't have any. It's probably really value heavy, but really bad. I mean, you just want to shove. If you want to raise, you just shove, because if he shoves, you can fold 40 blinds there. You just can't fold with anything. If you're having ace jack, you have to call it off. So it doesn't have any sense. You're just gonna shove. This looks really strong and impossible to mix bluffs there, and I hate the way it looks, and I hate this type of play. He has it for sure. There is no any way that he doesn't have it. It's always a nuts, and that's why, I mean, Just look how it looks. It looks, please shove on me. I have so much strong hand that I want to, you know, it's always a set. And you know what you want to do. You want to go into the notes and write that he did raise on the turn, not shout. He did raise on the turn with with a set in 3-bet pot on the turn that is highly bad for his range, you know. And when he calls spot like this, you just immediately can shove on the river without any problem, because he's gonna be full of the weak hands. This is clear call in this spot, clear call. I'm gonna jam there. Ace king in these positions. These guys, you just pound them by attacking when they call, because this king is the best turn for his range and the worst turn for his range, and he needs to protect all of his range by calling, because it's such a bad turn and not shoving tens. But the guy just don't care. He has, okay, I have the set, I'm just gonna go raise, and I just don't think about my range at all. It's like that. Yep. Let's go 1/3 on the turn. Again, I think I'm gonna go with a check. They just don't think about their range. When you see stuff like that, you just know they are not thinking about their range at all. You know, it's the worst possible range for turn for your range, worst possible, and you're deciding to jam. You know how that insanely strong looks, and you use that type of the size. We're going to 3-bet. Guys, if you have any question about strategy in the spots where we're in, just say, ask. I will tell you what I know. Also about the exploits, we can talk about it. We're gonna go 1/3 on this board. We have king queen. We have king 9, queen 9, jack 9 suited, always in the range. We don't know if he's gonna float the call cutoff versus button with this hand. So a lot of top pairs there. I think king jack with the backdoor is a clear bet. Not a great turn when you just think about our range. He's gonna call probably hands like 5, 6, 7s on the flop. He can float hand like ace queen, jack 10, queen jack. I'm just going, so he's gonna continue pretty often here. So I'm just gonna check there. He needs to turn the pairs into bluff in this spot. So 7s are a bluff, 6s are gonna be bluff, 5s. And I don't see many 10x hands except jack 10 that we block. It's only 2 combinations, and 9-10 suited. Now I would like to see a sample, to see his river over betting. I'm just gonna look this and I'm gonna fold the river. Just gonna look that, and I think the size is pretty off. With the overbet size, we can just fold every bluff catcher that is not straight, you know. So he's playing into our hand. He's helping us, so thank to him, because easy, we can just have an easy game. We are calling with straight or better, and we are not going to be exploited. I think we have clear way to bet. I'm going to go half the pot, a little more about half the pot. Okay. We are almost 2 hours now live. I think there was interesting spots to talk about, interesting strategies. I think that, for example, out of position play is crucial in the win rate. And small blind versus big blind is so underrated today. People don't work on it, and I think small blind versus big blind and big blind versus small blind it's crucial for your win rate. Crucial. Because people play so bad on a small blind. They're under, mostly my pool is under c betting it. They don't ever use so much of the 1/3 they should be using. For example, when it's small blind versus big blind, like ace deuce 6, you want to bet 1/3 all your range or most of your range. People not doing that. They don't detect these ace high boards enough. uh, then also the two Broadway boards, uh, they're not attacking at all those where they have the significant range advantage, they don't attack it. Yeah, this probably weaker player, not sure still. Probably not reg, but we just can't know still. Psychopath 50 is our friend from the stream, so we know that he's a reg. So we'll mark him as reg. Mm. This guy didn't 3-bet small blind at all. He did 3-bet in position, but he didn't 3-bet out of position, so I'm not sure I'm gonna be calling there, and because he didn't 3-bet at all on 115 hands. We can raise there, we can call. We are betting, of course, because now he looks to me when he checks there. I don't think he's ever checking ace king, so it looks like that he hit the queen x. Looks like a hand like a queen x. Yeah, or he can even have hands like, yeah, looks like a queen jack, queen 10 or tens. Okay, king jack off. He shouldn't be 3-betting king jack off in these positions ever. But I mean, generally I think he played it good. C-bet small, okay, he used a little bigger size. Don't like that size because you want to bet 7s, 8, 9s, 10s, jacks. Turn check is fine, turn check call is good. I think he played the hand decent. I think king jack now, when I would, in this line, I would always call it off against a competent player, because I think people will recognize that your range on the turn is troubling, that you're struggling on the turn, because you on the turn want to double barrel really a lot. You want to double barrel hand like basically ace king plus king queen. You have queens, you have kings, you have aces. You want to double barrel a lot, and when you check, you're gonna mostly be really capped, and you're gonna have a lot of weak hands because you're c-betting all your range on the flop, and that's the problems. Let's see what happened there. 3 is gonna be fold, ace 8 is gonna be call. Okay, and we're gonna jam there. It looks like this guy has an ace based on his size, or maybe even straight. We don't know is he reg or not, so I don't know what his value betting range look like. I'm gonna go with the overbet there. Yeah, he has the ace. Okay, he has the ace. Probably also weaker player. I'm just gonna check him out to the, but I would say that he is, because ace 10, yeah, weaker reg. Weaker reg. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, he called the. I mean, I play strategy that is only three betting or folding, so he's also multi-way betting the ace 10, which is really bad. Definitely weaker player. King 6, we're gonna fold everything. Commodus is going now. Thanks, Commodus, for your involvement here. You had a couple of nice questions. Thank you. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, and see you on the next stream, man. Thanks, and have a good night. Okay. We're gonna bet aggressively this board. We can go 1/3 on the flop, or we can go bigger size on the flop. I think it doesn't matter that much. This board prefers a bigger size. I'm gonna fold to raise. This board actually prefers a little bigger size. But ace queen is always betting there, or most of the time betting there. And what I said already before, when you play against a player that's not raising enough in position, then you can just widen up your c-bet range. For example, let's see the board. So this board generally wants you to be betting around 60 to 70% of range. So you want to check some hands like 9s and 10s there. You want to bet hands like ace king, king queen, ace queen mostly. You want to bet mostly overpairs, mostly jack x hands. So you're betting really high frequency, and but still not hold the range. You're betting 60 to 70% of the range. You are still checking some hands like jack 9. You're checking some hands like, let's say, a7 suited. Even they, I would bet a7. Let's say 7-8 suited. Let's say some 9s and 10s you're going to check. But around 70% you can bet. So you will check some top set like jacks. So you have some check range, and basically I think I choose I go with 1/3. But if he's not raising, for example, at all, that some players are not even raising sets or hands like ace jack there, he's not going to raise it, then you can go from that 70% to 100%, because you will realize a lot more equity. And that's the reason why it's against these type of players that not raising, just go with betting the range. Call it. We need to give how much? We need to give 14 blinds. I think we just have to call it. With queen 10, he's gonna shove all the pairs, so I think we just have to call it. That's some stuff you can do. It's really that important that you can switch from 60 to 70 to 100 if he's not raising, because you will definitely realize a lot more equity than you would generally be if you get bet. For example, you get bet and got raised. It's not that great. Okay, this guy did fall to c-bet 99 now. I'm not gonna bluff there with the king 5, but this looks suspicious. I'm gonna call this. It doesn't have sense to be betting small size. He's not backing a jack x on the river, and he should be also checking some ace highs, because we can have stronger ace highs, and they tend to check those ace highs to get value from bluffs with the bet check bet line. So it was a little bit suspicious, and the size didn't fit the equation also. To 10 we're gonna fold. Ace 8 we are folding. Yep. So we will make also new video in Monday, and conclude this limit at the end of the month. It will be fun, and I think it can be really useful. And also there's a couple of my friends that are also crushing from mid even to high stakes, and they can be also in the stream as a guest. They can give you their insights. My friend that one of the best mistakes player in the last 10 years, was also in the one stream with me, but we didn't play a lot. We He has a lot of his coaching guys that he coaches, and guys that like him and they're fan of his play. So we didn't play a lot together. We just talk about all kind of subject. But if you want, I can also bring him into the, yeah. Let's see, this guy went to showdown. I would say that he 99% has an ace-x. I'll go with the Norbert there. Because we are now not betting with this size, a hand like ace king with this size, so we are polarizing, and I think it's gonna be fine. Because I'm pretty sure he has ace here, and I can mix easy bluffs with hand like a jack 10, hand like a jack 10 or king 10, and we can do this with hands like let's say fours or deuces, to just because we're not gonna get a lot of faults if we bet 2/3. He's just gonna call ace x basically. And when he calls on the turn, he's gonna raise somewhere queen x most of the times. So I think we are mostly against ace x, and we need to, if we are bluffing, we just have to get bigger size on, and we need to of course have value there. So I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna make a fold also on table number 3. Yep, and we're gonna just go from micros to high stakes. We're gonna have all the limit by limit, all the stuffs you need to do. We will see where which limit we will be struggling maybe, or which will surprise us a bit. All the cool stuff it can happen, so I think it will be interesting. 3-8 we're gonna just be, I would say he mostly has pocket pairs, and I don't see many ace-x hands at all there, so I'm gonna go with 1/3 there. A lot of hands like pocket pairs. Ooh, I think we just have double barrel here. We don't know if he's gonna get sticky with hands like 9s, 10s, hands like 6s, hands like, of course he's gonna call all the king x and queen 10, queen jack hands, ace queen. But I think double barreling with the jack of spades with having ace of hearts is nice, not blocking any clubs. It will increase our fold equity, so I think it's okay. I would generally say he's gonna always fold 9s and 10s. We just have to jam now, or bet big. But I think jam is better. Yeah, we're just gonna jam there. We're just gonna go with jam. Deuce 6 queen against the donk, weaker player probably, we're gonna fold. Glever, man, good luck. Thank you, Glever. I didn't see you at the tables lately. Where are you? Did you maybe move from PokerStars? Yep, it will be a good challenge. Yes, I agree. We're gonna have a lot of also good people around us. It will be fun for you. It will be fun for me because I'm always ready for stuff like this. Hmm. Again, this board where we would generally against normal ranges want to check a lot. Against the donk, we're just gonna fold. We didn't play Glever. I think we last time played before 3 months, if I'm not. Um, it's a little bit thin, but I think we have the best hand. Okay, just let me see. This guy is probably reg, some type of the short stack reg. This guy, I'm not sure. This definitely reg. Look at the states, and we have 178 hands. Yep. Jack 9 off. We're not gonna call. Then we're gonna see each other fast. I would probably also get back to iPoker. Rentacle is asking why not Zoom. Don't like the Zoom because there is no table dynamics, and I really enjoy table dynamics. What's going on? How is people reacting? I think the people really underestimate poker table dynamics. Really underestimated. Dynamics is something crucial because people tend to behave differently when something is going on at the tables. If they are losing much, if they are nervous, tilting, or some hand did get to their nerves. I'll go with the call for folding to a shove. And on the Zoom, there is basically no that. There is no table dynamics. You're just going from table to table. But I did make a challenge. I did play Zoom on PokerStars NL100 before 3 years or so. And also I did play in this year Zoom a little bit. I have, I think, maybe around 10k hands now. Around 10k hands, I would say. We're gonna go with the raise. Generally, I would have a check range on this board against the reg, but this guy is a bad reg. I'm gonna go even bigger size that we can jam the turn. I'll call there. I don't like this. Thanks, Glover. Thanks, but this spot is pretty ugly. When the reg is doing this, I don't think he's ever doing it with nines or tens. This looks really strong. This guy is bad, that's the problem. I mean, I'm gonna fold this. Okay. I'm gonna go with an orbit there. Rentacle says he used to watch me on 100Z. Yep, it was long time ago. He's now retired and he wants to play. I'm glad that I make you feel like that. Um, I Rentacle, I really like poker. I enjoying the playing, and now I'm in last 1.5 years. I decided that I want to go to the high stakes and try to get to the biggest live cash games in live poker. That I want to make some big, also big live MTTs. I just want to try to be the best I can, and I really like poker on every. I really enjoy the game. I enjoy the playing it. Uh, so I'm glad that I give you the feelings that you are experiencing, that you want to play again. The poker is such a great game. You need so many skill to be good at it. So it's just great game. Yep, I just enjoy playing it, and enjoy working on it. Yeah, we're just gonna call. I'm not sure what this means. This size. Is he betting against king that we can raise 9x that we're not gonna raise ever? or he's betting like kings and aces. Not sure. We're also blocking the 9x. This guy is some aggressive, like some aggressive fish. I'm not sure what he rep. Basically, I would say that he mostly reps ace king. Flush, he's gonna bet bigger probably, and he would bet it bigger on the turn. So he basically reps ace king, I would say. But it was multi-way, and the ranges are stronger. Now it would be really helpful to see. Okay, here we see a bet fold one time. I'm gonna fold it. I'm gonna fold it. It was multi-way and it's strange, and this guy is 29-9, probably tighter range. To be able, I think he would need to bluff hands like ace-x with that size into multi-way. Not sure. He should be opening, I don't know, let's say ace-5 with the blocker, ace-6, ace-7 off in the UTG with this, I would say, not realistic. Let's go 20.5. He should be calling a lot button versus cutoff. He should be calling a lot of 8s plus, 7s plus, 9s, 10 jacks, mostly shoving queens, shoving always ace king, calling the suited broadway. So I'm gonna go 1/4 here. Yeah. Turn is not that great, but I think that people would definitely just think about. I'm thinking about my range, what bluffs I would like to have, and generally I have king jack suited. We have ace jack off some of it, so I'll go again with 1/3 there, and we have the. And when he quickly calls, it looks like a hand that doesn't need to think. Okay, he can have 8s, but I think 10s he would. They like to raise it even on the flop, so we're gonna jam, of course, on the river. But I said 9s. It looks like a 9s or hand like. Okay, queens are. He did play it good, we must say. He did play it good. Uh, I thought that he would raise. I mean, he should be shoving queens, but I thought he would be raising. On my limit, for example, the guys will be aggressively raising, but this guy played it great because he probably understands that he has 7s and 8s, and we don't have it. So that's the reason why I think he has nuts advantage, because we are not 4-betting 7s and 8s all ever, and because of that, nuts advantage, I think he can definitely should be having the raising range in position, and I think the queens is basically aces that he should be also having, and the queens if he's having them. Yeah, I'm gonna bet there with R8 high. I'm gonna talk about this hand more. It's really interesting because the guy played it really good. I'm gonna 4-bet this. We are folding a shove in these positions, but ace queen just works so great as a 4-bet bluff, and we have a lot of equity against his jacks and 10s. Yeah. I would say the ranges are pretty tight. You see how the range was tight cutoff versus button, and they're not defending against the 4-bet a lot. We're gonna go with 1/4 there. I think I expected like raise with these 9s and 10s here most of the times. From my pool, I always see it like that, that it's played like that. So it's pretty strange when they play it passive like this. Even this guy, I'll speak about this hand when this finish. Yeah, I just expect a lot of be raising. I'm gonna fall there. I would also be calling there against the raise hand like aces and kings. I would never jam them. I would jam queens and jacks with with some of the flush draws, hence like king jack suited. I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna go back to that hand that we were, that the guy had queens. You know, definitely something. Uh, when you have the nuts advantage and he has the nuts advantage, he just he can then definitely have the raising range. And in my opinion, we'll go bigger there. In my opinion, he should be raising queens always because it's near the top of his range, and he has more nuts that we're gonna have. And queens definitely also need protection, and you're gonna stack off against kings no matter what. So mixing some bluffs in as a raise in position, raising some of the sets, not mostly calling sets, but raising some of them, and raising hands like queens, raising hands like jacks. I think it's much better strategy, because like this you're just giving to free equity to be on the board, that you are equity favorite. Actually, you are making the a lot of equity to be realized out of position. And I think he played it good, but I think the queens should be definitely never. They mostly shouldn't be in the call of 4-bet range, because queens are sharp button versus cutoff. But okay. Renticle says when he retired, he used to play NL 100. I retired 2.5 years ago. Do you think I can play again and move in higher stakes? Renticle, it's really interesting questions. First, I need to tell you the complete answer. I would need to know how much was your win rate back then, and then I can say what I think that is changing before 2 years, 2.5 years, and now what has changed. And I will tell you what I think that changing, and how that affect the game. Then when I know that information, I will tell you my approximation. But until I know what were your win rate, did you play only Zoom games or did you play even normal tables, and then we can go from there. We can go 8 here. When he checked behind, I would say that on this limit, I don't think people will be. I'm gonna give up there. I think we're gonna be called a lot against ace highs, and I need to be jamming there, and don't like it. And I think they just tend to call when it's like this. They tend to call the size high. I would be betting all my overpairs, but we should be betting on this board. I should be betting Jack 5 suited. Check raise is okay, but I like to bet more. Poof. Yeah. Don't like this spot, but I think we definitely have to call it. Don't like it that much. We don't want to use our bet size. We want to bet more hands. We still want to bet hands like aces. We still want to bet hands like sets. I think we have the easy game. We just have to basically call, but it's not that great of the spot, because I think he's gonna have flush. But still, we don't know him and what he did raise there, how his range looks like. That he's having queen 8 in the range, and he's just 2x the size, so I think it's fine to call. Mate Sully says, do I'm using a lot of Flopzilla? Yes, I still like to use Flopzilla, but I'm most of time I'm learning in PO. I enjoy PO. I think the PO is definitely the best. I learn always in PO. I'm gonna folder. PO is something fantastic, because there is GTO trainer, and you can make you can have script and put it in the GTO trainer and train every day. It's easy, it's full fun. You're like playing and then seeing results, something really great. and I think the solvers are something really great because it will show you what is the GTO, what is the pure strategy, and how you can adjust, and how you can, when you see that somebody is doing something opposite from that strategy, you can see how can you. I thought I saw ace 10 off, so I apologize for opening ace 3. I thought it was ace 10 off, and I got immediately punished for it. Okay, I deserve it. Uh, I think solvers are crucial for today, understanding of the game, for self-improving, from learning for your mistakes, and for making exploit, working on the exploit strategies, max exploit strategy. Solvers are something I like to combinating solvers and Flopzilla, because in Flopzilla I can easily practice, and in solvers I can learn. But I mix both of those. Okay. Rentacle says he plays Zoom only, and his win rate was 4 to 5 BBs. Yep, that's on Zoom. I would say one of the best win rates. So basically, you crash the game. Have a lot of things changed? No. The players basically, most of my opponents are still playing the same way. When I look myself, I did change a lot. I learned really a lot. For example, in last 1 year, I have worked really a lot on my river block bets. Block betting on the river, that's crucial for your strategy. They are so powerful and can significant there can be significant boosts to your win rates, because people are not raising correct ranges against it. They tend to spew a lot against it. It's hard to be playing against it if you're doing it in a lot of spots, and I don't see a lot of people doing it. All I see that people are doing it when they want to cheaply go to the showdown. Until we know it's our hand is, I like to double barrel this, but until we know this check raise, we're not gonna call. Uh, what is changed? Donking has changed. Now I'm donk really a lot on many turns, and that's I also donk in the flops, on some flops where I know that I have significant range advantage on, and that I know there's going to be a lot of checking involved. So I did improve a lot of on my game just in the last years, but for my opponents, from what I'm seeing, they basically didn't improve that much. So I don't think. I don't think you would have much of the problem. You would basically, in like 1 month, you would rust off. You would put the rust from your shoulders, and definitely you could get back into it without any problems. And especially if you like studying. Okay, you didn't study very much, but if you do put some work now, it would definitely be great. So I think you wouldn't have that much problem getting back where you were before. You see, this is like spot where what is going on here. You're not gonna check behind many flush draws hand on the 4-4-7. This looks really bluffy to me, because what do you now rep? Do you really bet king queen like this with a pot? Yeah. Or do you bet ace king like this? I'm not. Yeah, but this is weaker player. But I know they are always going by the sizing. But to me, this is like check behind sevens. I don't see many, because I don't see many of flushes in the range, and I don't think that king queen is betting like this, or ace king. And I would say that this is mostly sevens, mostly sevens. I'm gonna fold until I know, but just awful side, I think, on the river. But his cbet was 0, so maybe this guy check behind some flushes. I don't know. Maybe it is like that. I'm not. We can go 1b. Still button range has, now our range is great, but on the deuce 5-6 the button has much stronger range than we're gonna have on the big blind, because we're gonna be wider than him and he's gonna, okay, I'm gonna go with the small overbet. Okay, and also about the zoom, zoom is I think you would have, if you're having the 4 or 5 on the zoom, you would get even better on the normal tables, because table dynamics is so underestimated, too much in my opinion, too much. I immediately know how people just change their game if something happens. I just have a feel for that, and you can just make big faults or make big calls based just only on that. And in zoom, you just lose that part of the tree completely. I don't like it because of that. And I don't think that having people, I always ask myself why people play zoom. Basically they play zoom to make a sample, but if you concentrate more on your tables, I think it can be beneficial, because what is more important, make a sample or improve your win rate? And if you boost your win rate, you can make more with less of the sample. Now, I think that's also player dependable, so it's hard to talk about it. Usually 9-9, he's gonna have all the king 9, queen 9, jack 9. It's gonna hit him decently. We can also bet a lot, but having kings, I think I like to prefer them as a check behind. We are still the equity favorite, but we are close to each other, not that much, because I mean I open usually if you're open 42% on the button, he's gonna have more 9x hands, but if you open, I open like 50 to 55, so it's gonna be roughly, we're gonna be equity favorite, so then kings are better as a bet, but I like to check them occasionally in behind. Okay, 2 hours and 30, we're live. Yeah, I'm gonna go and finish for today. I hope I did helped you in some spots. I will go in the Germany next week, so I will probably in Germany do also mixing. I will mix with my streaming with my limits. Okay, let's play this more hands and then finish. Okay, so maybe it will be fun. Rentacle, I'm not sure what to say, man. It's maybe that was variance or something like that, because it's really strange. People bet this board pretty often. He should be betting it, so when he checked behind, I would say that he's pretty capped. Okay, I think we also had a good session today finally, because when I make the video we had really bad sessions and I didn't want to make first when I made video for PokerStrategy, the first video I did, it was really fun video and I didn't have any sound on it, so it was sick and I was mad on myself. I'm gonna just call here, and then the other session was also not that great, but didn't have that many good spots. Okay, we are calling it and we are jamming the river. It looks like ace queen. I think we have the easy jam. I would say ace queen, ace jack. Okay, and I mean also I have the better feeling for them now. Ben is asking what time Central European time you think the games on stars are the best. I only play when my kids go to sleep, so I can just tell you how the games are between 22 hours Central European time to 6 a.m. because I play only in that. I never play in the morning, but basically I think the games are pretty much the same. Uh, what I mean, the regs are always the same, so I don't think there is much difference. For me, it's definitely I always live at the night. From my early days, I will only I can only learn when I was younger, when I was going to school and college. Only I could only learn when it's nighttime. I would never have to. I would never could learn when it's sunshine outside. When it's sun outside, I couldn't just learn. So that's why I like to play poker at night only. Um, Basically, I think it's I don't know what the games are in the morning, but I think my approximation would be it's something similar. So let's see the session today. Yep, 10 buy-ins today. Not that bad. Let's see. Yeah, we ran really good today. Yep, we ran really good today. 1,000 hands. Really nice session. I'm glad because we started as a shit. Let's see here. Let's see reports. I started really bad. I had 3 sessions on NL10 and they were all losing ones. So it was insane. Let's see now. NL10 max, NL10. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. 61, 76, 300, 3,000 hands. Okay. I did play 5,000 hands on Zoom 200. I played 1,500 hands on Zoom 100. That was before like 2 years probably. 9.6. We are close again to the 10 BBs. Yeah, think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Let's see here positions. Think it's also good. Number of fishes. 10 BBs when there's no fish at the table. I think that's great. I think it will this results limit by limit. It will be great. Think we could exactly see it will be around, I don't know, maybe like 20,000 hands on the one limit, but I think it's still gonna show us something. Yep, it's gonna show us something. Yep, I think it will be good. Okay, thanks for being today with me. I will also put my limits into the stream also, so it will be fun. We had a nice first stream, 10 buy-ins on our first live stream. I think we played good. I think we ran really good. So see you next time. Hope it will be more of you. Good night and see you.